All right, so have you ever found yourself thinking, man, wouldn't it be cool to work in tech, but also be really plugged into the business side of things?
It's a powerful combination, that's for sure.
Right. Well, you're in the right place. Today, we're doing a deep dive into what it takes to be an ICT business analyst.
And we're lucky enough to have some fantastic insights from RoleCatcher to help us out.
They've got such a handle on the tech career world. So, for everyone out there who's curious about this whole ICT business analyst role, we're going to break down what it actually involves.
We'll dig into the skills you need, the challenges you might face, and even what your career progression could look like. It's a role with a lot of potential.
Definitely. So, let's get into it, shall we? What does an ICT business analyst actually do all day?
Well, in a nutshell, think of it like this. You're the bridge between the IT department, the ones with their code and systems, and the rest of the company, all trying to reach their goals.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture.
So the ICT business analyst analyzes those goals, figures out how technology can help achieve them, and then, really importantly, make sure everyone understands how to use those tech solutions effectively.
So, you're not just a tech whiz, you're a translator, making sure everyone's on the same page.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
you might be explaining some complex data analysis to a CEO who needs to make a decision, or walking a team through a new software implementation, even if they're not tech savvy at all.
That's where those communication skills become absolutely key.
100%. And it's not just what you say, but how you say it. You're always working with different people, tech teams, managers, clients, so being able to adapt your style is crucial.
It sounds like you need a serious amount of patience and a knack for explaining things in a way that just clicks for everyone.
You got it. Now imagine the typical work environment, mostly an office setting, but with remote work becoming more common, you could find yourself collaborating with people all over the world.
That flexibility is definitely a perk. But working in tech, it's constantly changing. What's that like for an ICT business analyst?
Well, the thing is, the tech world moves so fast. New tools, new ways of doing things, even whole business models can pop up overnight.
It feels like there's something new every day.
Exactly. So an ICT business analyst can't just get comfy with how things are. They have to be adaptable, always learning, ready to jump into whatever's next.
You're almost saying you have to be okay with a bit of chaos. Things always shifting around you.
That's a great way to put it. It's definitely not a career for someone who likes things to stay the same, but for the right person, that constant change is exciting. It's what keeps things interesting.
For sure. If you're someone who loves learning and thrives in those kinds of environments, this could be a great fit. So what's the job outlook like for ICT business analysts? I mean, with all this tech evolving so rapidly.
Well, think about it. Pretty much every business relies on tech now, more and more. Automation, data analytics, cloud computing, it's everywhere.
And someone's got to help businesses actually use all that, right?
Exactly. RoleCatcher really highlights this growing demand for ICT business analysts. Businesses need people who can bridge the gap between tech and strategy.
So not only is it a really dynamic field, but it also sounds like there's some solid job security. That's pretty awesome.
Absolutely. But with high demand comes a certain level of, well, pressure. You're often juggling projects, tight deadlines, and sometimes you're dealing with complex company structures.
So it's not just the technology, it's the people and the processes behind it all.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's where those specific skills come into play.
Okay, let's get into that then. What does it actually take to be a successful ICT business analyst? What are we talking about here? We've talked about communication being important, but what else? What other skills do you need?
So first off, you've got to have those analytical skills, right? Like really strong ones. We're talking about digging into data, finding those patterns, those insights that can help businesses make decisions.
It's more than just seeing numbers on a spreadsheet. It's understanding what they really mean.
Yeah, exactly. You might be looking at sales data to see where the opportunities are, or maybe you're figuring out the risks of a new system they want to use.
Wow, so there's a lot of responsibility there, and I imagine you need to understand the technology itself pretty well too.
Or absolutely. You don't need to be writing code all day, but a good understanding of IT is essential. Things like databases, cloud computing, agile methodologies, that kind of stuff.
So even if you're not the one building it, you got to speak the language.
Right. And don't underestimate the importance of being detail-oriented. ICT business analysts, they create documentation, they map out processes, they make sure every little thing is accounted for. because a small mistake can really snowball into a bigger issue later on.
Okay, so there's definitely some pressure there. But on the flip side, it must be really satisfying when you get everything running perfectly.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. That's the thing about this role. It's that combination of analytical thinking, technical knowledge, and planning all mixed together. And of course, those soft skills, communication, adaptability, all that comes into play too.
Wow, it's like a whole package deal. No wonder it's such a sought-after career.
That's a great way to put it. And one more thing, if you really want to stand out, those certifications, they can make a huge difference.
Oh, yeah. RoleCatcher mentioned those, like CBA, CCBA. What are those all about?
Think of them as like a stamp of approval on your resume.
Hmm.
They show employers that you've gone the extra mile to develop specific skills. Like that CBAP one, it's from the IIBA, and it's globally recognized. If an employer sees that, they know you know your stuff when it comes to business analysis.
So it's not just saying you can do it, it's proving it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are certifications for different specialties within ICT Business Analysis, too. If you're into project management, the PMP might be up your alley.
It's like choosing your own adventure, but within this field. Okay, so let's say you've got the skills, you're getting those certifications. What's the actual career path look like? Where do you start, and where can you go from there?
Well, most people start out in entry-level roles, like a junior business analyst. That's where you get that hands-on experience. You learn from the more senior people on the team and slowly take on more responsibility.
Just like any career,
No.
right? Got to start somewhere.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher, they do this really cool thing where they have example profiles for each stage of your career.
Oh, yeah, I saw those. It's one thing to say junior business analyst, but it's way more helpful to see what they actually do every day.
Right. It makes it real.
Hmm.
So in that junior role, you might be helping analyze processes, getting requirements from stakeholders, or maybe even creating documentation for existing systems.
So you can really start to picture yourself in that role. And then as you get more experience, you can move up, right? Become like the expert everyone goes to.
Yeah. You might become an intermediate business analyst, so bigger projects, leading workshops, maybe even mentoring the newer folks on the team.
That's got to feel good, not just growing your own skills, but helping others along the way.
It's really rewarding. And down the line, you could be a senior business analyst,
Hmm.
leading big projects, working directly with higher-ups, even making decisions that affect the whole company.
Wow, having a real impact. It's exciting, but I bet it's challenging too.
Absolutely. And then for those who are real go-getters, who love to lead, there's the lead ICT business analyst position. You're managing teams, setting the direction for the whole department.
So many paths you can take with this. It's pretty cool. It's amazing how much info RoleCatcher puts into these guides. Speaking of, we've covered the career path, the skills, the whole job market, but they also have a bunch of tools to help you actually land a job, which is huge.
For sure. They've really thought of everything. One thing that's super helpful is their AI resume builder.
Right. It's not just a template. It actually looks at the job description and figures out exactly what skills they want to see.
And then it tells you how to make your resume perfect for that job.
Yeah.
It's like having your own personal branding expert, but way less expensive.
Seriously. Takes the guesswork right out of it.
Exactly. And their AI interview prep is awesome, too. It's like a huge database of interview questions, but specific to the companies and jobs you're interested in.
So you're not just practicing for any interview, you're practicing for the interview.
You got it. Plus, it analyzes your answers, gives you feedback, helps you sound amazing, like having an interview coach right on your laptop.
RoleCatcher has really gone all out. They thought of everything for people who want to do this kind of work.
Totally. And for anyone just starting to think about it, they have a ton of free stuff, guides, articles, even sample interview questions. It's a great way to see if this career path is right for you.
Love that. So accessible for anyone. As we wrap this up, I want to hear from you listening. We've talked a lot about what it takes to be an ICT business analyst, but what speaks to you about all this?
Exactly. What part excites you? The problem solving? That you get to work with the latest tech? Or is it about helping businesses thrive, really shaping the future of how things work?
Whatever it is that grabs you, there's definitely a place for you in the ICT business analyst world. It's a field where they want your unique perspective, where you never stop learning, and where you're using tech to solve real problems.
And hey, even if it feels daunting, remember, you don't have to do it all at once. Check out RoleCatcher's resources, talk to people who are already doing this, and see where it leads. You never know what you'll discover.
That's a wrap on our ICT Business Analyst Deep Dive. Hope you feel informed, empowered, ready to take on the world. Until next time, keep exploring those career dreams.